Indiana Fever fans, you can rejoice because Kelsey Mitchell is back, and I think the Fever just gave her the perfect deal possible to do so. Let's talk about it here on No Cap Space. What is up, everyone? Welcome back to No Cap Space. It's Tyler, and we are running. We are going. I literally just got the video up of Andrew and I reacting to all of today's news before this Kelsey Mitchell news. Arike Gumawale staying in Dallas. Marina Mabry and Brittany Sykes getting max contracts from Toronto. NECA to LA. Atlanta keeping their core. There's so much going on now. We are off to the races. And as soon as I get that video posted, we get this right here from Chiney Ogwumike. All WNBA first team and three-time WNBA All-Star Kelsey Mitchell is finalizing a $1.4 million SUPERMAX one-year agreement to return to the Indiana Fever. Let me tell you why I think that this is the perfect deal for the Indiana Fever. First and foremost, Kelsey Mitchell is a very good basketball player. Last year, she goes and averages 20 points per game. Obviously, there was a lot of injuries last year. And for the Fever, they needed Kelsey Mitchell. And more often than not, Kelsey Mitchell showed up. I mean, played to her absolute ends to try and keep this team afloat. And she did. This was a team that, if you told me that the Indiana Fever last year missed the playoffs given all their injuries, I would have understood. And Kelsey Mitchell was a big part of not letting that happen. So as is noted in that tweet from Chiney, all WNBA first team. You keep that type of player around. You just do. And with this deal, a one-year SUPERMAX, I think that one, and maybe the part that I love about this the most, is that you get to reward Kelsey Mitchell. You get to reward Kelsey Mitchell for her time in Indiana. She was drafted there in 2018, and let's just say it has not always been good times in Indiana. And yet, throughout all of those times, Kelsey Mitchell stayed. Kelsey Mitchell repped Indiana, and Kelsey Mitchell has developed and created herself into this player that is now fully worth this deal, is fully worth her recognition as an all-star, as all WNBA. Again, for so many reasons, Kelsey Mitchell is a player that the Indiana Fever should keep around. Now, why I also think that this is a perfect deal is it's a one-year deal. And as great as Kelsey Mitchell has been, as important she will, I think, end up being in the long-term memory, and especially for specifically Indiana fans, the long-term memory of the Indiana Fever and being able to be someone that held it down when they needed it most. Kelsey Mitchell is admittedly not the player I would think would fit perfectly next to Caitlin Clark. When you're trying to run the two guards there, it is a lot of offensive firepower, but maybe you're lacking on the defensive side of the ball. And I think that this gives you the ability to be flexible. That doesn't mean that Kelsey Mitchell is just gone after this season. That's not what this means. What this does give you is, hopefully, fingers crossed for every basketball fan, that the Indiana Fever are able to stay healthy. Most notably, Caitlin Clark is able to stay healthy, and you get a feel for what does Kelsey Mitchell, Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston look like over the course of an entire season. And if you decide that works, and it does work, which is a very, very real possibility, you go, you roll. But there's, especially knowing that sooner rather than later, you're going to be giving a SUPERMAX to Aaliyah Boston. Sooner rather than later, you're going to be giving a SUPERMAX to Caitlin Clark. And knowing that you're going to need that cap flexibility, being on a 1 year where either you decide, hey, this isn't working to the degree that we need it to be able to give us the reasoning to pay Kelsey Mitchell this amount of money, us individually, the Indiana Fever, you're able to pivot. But if you do decide to, and you make the decision to go and keep Kelsey Mitchell around, this is going to work. You also have not only honored her for her services to Indiana by giving her the SUPERMAX, but you've now set the table to make this an even longer term relationship. To me, I want to see Kelsey Mitchell and Caitlin Clark together on the court long term. At least for I say long term more so in being able to see them healthy together. I am open minded to frankly either side of that coin. Of if this works, let's roll. If not, you pivot. That I'm open minded to that, but I am ultimately excited. I would have felt a piece of me that was not fully satisfied if Kelsey Mitchell was to leave the Indiana Fever this season. If going into this season, Kelsey Mitchell was wearing a different team's jersey and we didn't get to kind of fully see the full realization of what this trio could be, what this big three could be, I would have been disappointed. This season, we get that. By the end of the season, you can pivot, we can figure out what comes next, but Kelsey Mitchell is a damn good basketball player. She is ridiculously good at basketball. Nobody has a better first step in the entire. The only player that even comes close is Kelsey Plum when it comes to having a first step and being able to attack the rim. Obviously, she has a shooting capabilities as well. She is a born bucket, and seeing that hopefully healthy all this season is going to be very fun. We'll see what also comes next for Indiana. This is really kind of the first move that we've seen them make, and as the rumors have kind of started to pour out on the timeline and everything on social media, it's been pretty quiet on the Fever front. So this was really our first move that we're seeing here from the Indiana Fever. And with that, I'm interested in seeing what comes next, more specifically for their role players, for their wings. Sophie Cunningham, Lexi Holt, those type of players, to see, are you just running it back with this team that you had last year and trying to bet on the fact that you stay healthy? And I think that that's the right move. I don't think that you need to go do some crazy overhaul. I mean, maybe a 4 would be great. You know, if you're able to go find one. Obviously, DeWanna Bonner didn't really pan out the way you hoped to last year. And so I'm interested if you're able to go find a 4. But outside of that, you want to see this team healthy. You want to see this team go compete. Because if you were to tell me that this Indiana Fever team was able to go and compete for a WNBA championship, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be shocked at all. And a big part of that is retaining Kelsey Mitchell. And you were able to go and do that. There was, I didn't think she was leaving. I didn't predict that going into this. But you got to sign. You got to do it. You got to get it done. Indiana Fever were able to do that. And now, hopefully, fingers crossed, prayers to the basketball gods, Kelsey Mitchell, Caitlin Clark, Leah Boston, all healthy this entire season. And we get to see what this truest form of this trio can be like at this point in their careers. It's a perfect deal for Indiana. It's a perfect deal to honor a Fever legend already in Kelsey Mitchell. She gets paid. Everyone has flexibility. Great work all around. No notes on this deal. There's going to be plenty more deals to come. So make sure you're tapped in here with us at No Cap Space. Again, we literally just dropped the video on everything else that has happened today, pretty much. We went through just about every deal, the aces, the dream, the tempo. Still weird to say the tempo. I'm not used to it. Expansion is happening really quickly. LA is, I yelled about the Sparks on the last video. I'll admit it. And we got the news live that Arike Gumbawale was going to be staying with Dallas. So make sure you go check out that video if you haven't already, and be on the lookout because many, many, many more videos are going to come. For all I know, I'm going to turn this camera off and we'll have another video to record. So make sure you're tapped in with us here at No Cap Space across the board here on the YouTube. We're on the road to 10K subscribers, but also NoCapSpaceWBB.com for all of our print and podcast content. It's free, it's easy, it's directly into your inbox, and it's the best coverage of women's basketball across the board. So make sure you're tapped in with us on every platform, and I'm talking to you very, very soon.